welcome back to another episode of Mohamed Talks with entrepreneurs, millionaires, billionaires, quadrillionaires, motivational speakers, public speakers, and more. Today we have Mr. Mike, the C-Roc, and we're just going to be speaking about the business mindset. So, Mr. Mike, please introduce yourself to the audience.
What's up, Mohamed? Thank you so much for having me, man. Like I said many times before, I love hearing your voice. When you chime in on Clubhouse, that's where we met, and I couldn't help but say yes when you asked me to come on your show. And I'm just an unstoppable being. You know, I know that I'm unstoppable to live in the life of my dreams. I figured out the formula, and I just want to share it with other people and create all people to be unstoppable to live in the life of their dreams. So I filter everything I do through that. All my businesses, my hobbies, my family, my friends, everything I do, my thoughts, words, actions, my environment, everything goes towards that mission. And so whether it's tech companies that I have or mortgage companies or podcast agency or being an author, speaker, coach, all that stuff, it just goes through that mission. And so that's what I'm all about, brother.
Awesome. So yeah, today we're talking about the business mindset and how we can change our simple point of view around the money to an amazing ideology, an amazing way to think about it so that we can attract money. So yeah. What do you think? Like, this is a phenomenon that's really well known around the globe, and scientists have studies all around the world that rich people show the importance of money to their children. Like, instead of the opposite of what poor and middle class do, is they say, you know, money is not important. Money can't buy happiness. Money can't do this. You see, they only don't give the people don't give the value to something they don't even have. So, for instance, if you didn't have a certain car or something, you wouldn't give it the value it deserves because you don't have it. That's the same thing with money. There's poor people and middle class don't give it the value it deserves because they have never owned it and they didn't control it. It controls them. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, really what else happens is people justify their mediocrity or their lack with explanations that make no sense. They're confused. So if you don't have money or have the money you think you should have, you make excuses or justifications of why you don't so that you can live with yourself. When people cannot justify their mediocrity or their lack, they start to get very destructive. And that's why you see people destructing property, like hurting other people, hurting themselves, is because they're not figuring out how to justify or overcome their lack. And so you can do two things. You can justify your lack and create a situation where you can live with yourself and in that mediocrity, or you can say, you know what, that's not that. There's no justification for this, and I'm going to go figure it out, and I'm going to make it happen. If you don't do one of those two things, then you get destructive, and you can destroy property and also people, and including yourself. So that's what you see when people have too much to drink: alcohol, drugs, destruction of property, or hurting other people or themselves. It's because they're not doing one of those two things.
Exactly. So the business mindset nowadays is all about knowing how to, these are the three big words that everyone will get shocked when they hear: marketing, advertisement, and then just selling. So making sales, marketing, and advertising. So what do you think about today's ideology and today's mindset that most people have, is that when they look at these three words, they're just so shocked. They think that it's such a sea to explore. It is when you go into it, when you're professional in it. But in reality, if you just start by having an idea and having a product and knowing what that product is, you can start selling and having an online business. Before we get into the big stuff, what's a necessity for someone to have in their mindset so they can be a businessman or woman?
Well, first of all, persistence. Everybody that I always hang out with that has been successful, that's had successful businesses. Last week, I was hanging out at an event called Think Billions with billionaires, billionaire brand builders, successful CEOs, and people trying to learn. And including those people that had that success, they were there to learn. And what I noticed, the same thing I keep seeing, is people that are persistent. They get a vision, and then they go after that vision, and they don't stop. It's not an option to stop. They can change their mind. They can change direction. They can adjust things, but they will not quit. They just refuse to quit, and they will keep going. Most people, when they get in business or do anything in life, if they don't get results right away, or they don't get the results, instead of making adjustments, they quit. So if you were shooting a rocket to a target, like let's say you're shooting a rocket up into the air and you're trying to hit an asteroid like NASA did recently, and you set that rocket off and all of a sudden some things change, like the wind or the temperature or something else comes into play. They don't just bail and put the rocket into the ocean. They make adjustments on the thrust of the rocket, the direction of the rocket. Maybe they move the rudder or the tail or however they direct rockets. They make adjustments, and then they go after the target. They miss the target. They figure out what went wrong. They come back, they collect data, and then they redo it again. They don't quit. That's what all the successful people do. Now, the other thing is a lot of other people, Mohammed, don't visualize and get clear on what they want. So I just really don't understand people, how they operate in life, drifting along, right, with no target, no vision of what they want. Because I can tell you this, is that when you visualize things and you get really crystal clear and use your imagination and put that out into the universe, well, I have a belief in God, and I believe God is an infinite wisdom, infinite knowledge, infinite power. And when we try to figure out things ourselves and shut off the universe, when people say, I believe in God, shut off God, then you're shutting off a channel of information that could come to you to help you with your business or mission or whatever you're doing. And so, I've done a lot of things in my life. And sometimes I accomplish things, or I end up in a place, Mohammed, and I'm like, how did I get here? I don't even understand how I got here. That how, the method, is not for me to know. Sometimes you just put a vision out, you start doing your words, thoughts, actions, and behaviors and environment towards that mission, and all of a sudden you appear there. And the how is not always, or the methodology of how is not always for us to know.
So yeah, I mean, that's boom, of course, mind-blowing information for everyone who's listening. But in my idea, the same reason what you said, right? The same ideas of what you were saying right there, is that most of the time people get so overworked that they don't know how they got there, right? But it's a part of being successful. If you're successful to an extent, you start getting to places without even knowing how. Value starts to come to you instead of you going to search for value. So the business mindset needs commitment. That's obvious. If you're going to commit, you're going to go down one path and you're going to have everything ready. All right, everything is possible. You're ready. You've got your actions. You've got step one of the plan. Go for it. So what do you think, as an asset, as a skill, as an ability, what's one or two skills and abilities that can enhance performance for the people that want to be entrepreneurs?
Number one is not worrying about what other people think. Go after what you want with reckless abandonment. Go crazy. Be dangerous. Don't hold back. I mean, I think that's an important one. The other thing is document what you're doing. Most people don't document things. And so when they get to a point, they get into a contraction mode and conservative mode, and they're holding on because they don't think they can replicate what they just did. They don't know how they just did it. The how doesn't need to be known until you do it. Let's say you do and you accomplish something. You're documenting your steps as you go. Then you can say, you know what? I want to help someone else do this. You can give them those steps, that blueprint, right? If you had to start over again, you have the thing documented as well, your process of how you did it as well, so that you could go replicate it again and make it even better next time. So I think reckless abandonment, like dangerous, be dangerous, go after it, be willing to risk it all. Knowing that the worst case scenario is you're starting back where you started anyway. Then the other thing is documenting the process, because I think that one of the things in my life that I did not do was I didn't look for blueprints of successful people early enough. And I don't think enough successful people documented their success in a blueprint. And then I haven't documented what I've done in enough detail for other people for me to duplicate someone else doing it or replicate it myself. And we're in the process of doing that now. By the way, I have a platform called Blueprinted, and it's designed just for this, for people to document their success and share with other people.
Of course, be sure to go into the link in the description to find out Mr. Mike and C-Roc, all of his social media links, and of course, every link that needs to be there to help you grow. So yeah, moving on to our subtopic of the day is the specific part of business mindset. what do you think the business mindset is?
Oh man, I don't know, man. I think, when we talk about mindset, I think we need to understand that our beliefs aren't always true. Let me let that sink in for a second. Our beliefs that we have aren't always true. The beliefs that we have stem from decisions we've made after failures or setbacks. So when you have something not go your way or you don't accomplish something, you make a decision after that. And that decision generally shapes the rest of your life unless you change that decision. And that decision after a failure is generally not a positive one. And so the mindset that we have a lot of times is a belief that we've had based on experiences that we've had or treatment that we've gotten from other people. We make decisions based on that. And then all of our decisions from that point on are just to survive, just get by, not put ourselves in danger, not get risky, just to survive. And if we leave ourselves in that condition, then we will always revert back to that default position of survival. When actually, we do not need to think like that anymore nowadays, because we're not in a situation generally where tigers are chasing us and bears are chasing us and dinosaurs are chasing us. We're just now trying to hold on to the money that we get. When we also have to understand, Mohamed, that money is an energy that needs to circulate. Money is designed to go out and come in, just like waves. In an ocean, the waves come in and go out. The tide goes in and goes out. Money is the same thing. It's energy. If you look at the everything that's created in the world is energy. Everything that's on this planet is energy. Water, waves, energy. Paper, money, energy. It's all energy. And energy needs to be in a cycle. And if you wrap your head around this, people will not be so hold on to money so tight. Now, I agree that you need to be smart with your money and don't waste your money and just blow your money, but you put your money in places that can return to you. So I hope I answered your question. I gave you a little bit of,
100%.
just thoughts off the top of my head.
We'd love to get deep into the topic. So yeah, a very important part of an entrepreneur's life is making the money. But should that be the goal?
Well, in business, yeah, in business, that's the goal. In business is to make money. That's what
about
business
in life?
is. In life, no. In life is you find a mission that you feel that you're compelled towards, and you live through that mission, and then everything filters through that mission. So, like I said, some people want to be around happy people all the time, so they can have their mission that all people are happy. And when they say all people, if you want something for everyone, you're going to get it yourself. There's a thing called the golden rule. Have you heard of it before?
I haven't heard of the golden rule, but I do know of a few sayings that speak of what you're talking about. Yeah.
Do unto others as you would have done unto yourself.
Yes.
That's the golden rule. They call that the golden rule because it's one of the most important rules.
And treat others the way you want to be treated.
Think about, treat others as you would want to be treated. Do unto others as you want to be. When you do, that includes thinking, wishing, hoping for, celebrating. When you see somebody else is successful, what is the thought that goes through your head? Do you say, man, I wish that was me, or they don't deserve it, they must have cheated, they're not doing things the right way?
You congratulate.
Are you envious, jealous? All that is negative energy that will keep you from going towards your dreams. And what we need to do is we need to celebrate others. We need to treat others the way we would want to be treated. Now, the other thing, Mohamed, about this, I'll go a little deeper. The reason most people treat others bad is because they don't treat themselves good. They don't think highly of themselves. They don't value themselves. They don't like themselves. They don't love themselves. And when you love yourself a lot of times, and you express that to people in the way you carry yourself, others that don't love themselves will hate on you and will say, oh, you're full of it. You're full of yourself. You love yourself. He's in love with himself. She's in love with herself. And then it discourages you from doing the right thing of loving yourself, because you cannot love other people if you don't love yourself. You cannot believe in other people if you don't believe in yourself. One thing I do a lot, and I got confirmed, validated with this, that, my buddy Howie P, who I was out at his house last week, was saying, he looks in the mirror and says, I'm my biggest fan. I look in the mirror every day and I say, I believe in you. I believe in that guy. I got that guy's back. I support that guy. And I do the same thing. It's funny thing is I say that all the time, and I'm like, I'm unstoppable. Like, I love Mike C-Roc. He's the man. And I talk like that because I want to build myself up so that I can help other people. I can't help other people if I don't believe in myself and I don't support myself and I'm not my biggest fan. I can't expect other people to be fans of me and support me if I don't do it to myself. So yeah, man, it's important.
So, self-love and having your self ideas and, always being affirmative, affirmations, those are important. And being motivated is important as well. So if, let's say, if you're giving a situation of what would be one sentence, one quote, one word that you would say to somebody that has changed your life or that could change theirs. That's a brain scratcher.
Well, there's so many. I mean, I just make my own stuff up. I mean, I have lots of sayings. Thrust is a must.
Same.
Thrust is a must. Like when you're going through hell, Winston Churchill said, keep going. When you're going through hell, keep going. I don't believe that's good enough. I think that you need to go fast, right? Like you need to go fast if you're burning. So thrust is a must, is a part of the rocket fuel law that I said. And the other thing I would say is that you take anything that, once you have a mission and you're on your direction and you're going on your path to where you want to go, if something comes your way that stops or slows you down, discourages you, people, things, events, you store it in your fuel tank instead of your trunk. Most people take all this toxicity and they store it in their trunk where it slows them down and weighs them down. I choose, and I teach other people to, store it in your fuel tank and convert it into rocket fuel. And if you do that, you'll become unstoppable because remember, you're taking everything that would stop or slow you down. If you remove all the things that would stop or slow you down, that makes you unstoppable, but you can go a lot faster if you put it in your tank and use it as fuel to light you up to become unstoppable. So those are the things that I would really focus people's attention on.
All right, boom. That's just like it hit cross. I'm speechless, to be honest. So yeah, it was a pleasure having you here today. It was just an amazing idea and a basic way where you guys can understand, I can understand, and everyone else, your family members, your friends, they can all understand. Be sure to share this with everyone around you. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. Be sure to replay this on the road. And yeah, check the links in the description for Mr. C-Roc's social media. But I do have one more question, though. This is a question I get asked a lot. What motivates you to be the C-Roc that we see today?
So my belief in God, that, I was created, and not just me, but everyone was created by an all-powerful, omnipotent, omnipresent God. And we were created in the likeness of him, in his likeness. And I don't want to disappoint God. I don't want to let God down when I pass away one day. If I go in front of God and he gave me everything that he gave me and I didn't please him. I didn't do what he intended for me to do to the extent that he intended for me to do. That's what motivates me. I really feel that this body that we have is a physical, material part of this universe, but I'm a very spiritual person, Mohamed. And I believe my spirit lives on. All of our spirits live on, and it's our decision where we're going to live on with and to and do. And what I want to do is when my spirit is here in this body, I want to achieve everything I possibly can, create as much as I possibly can. And I don't know what that limit is. And so what I want to do is I want to explore, create, and see how far I can take this thing.
Boom. That's what motivates the C-Roc. Mr. Mike, thank you very, very much. Everyone, be sure to have a lovely day. And you are here listening to Mohamed speak with the C-Roc, a fellow successful businessman and, yeah, a motivational speaker. And be sure to check out all his social media links. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.